Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. It is Sunday, May 2nd, 2021. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're having a wonderful May Sunday already, and that the weather near you is beautiful, and that everything is going well. If you're new to my podcast, please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com. That's lisahopp.com. I'm also on Facebook under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. Please be sure to go there and like and follow. And of course, if you're listening to this through YouTube, please like, subscribe, share. I would appreciate it so much. And for those of you joining me week after week, I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for your feedback, for your support, for just wanting to listen. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. Topic this week. It's been quite an extraordinary week in my world. And I think it's been an extraordinary week in a lot of worlds this week. I'd like to talk about those times in your life when it seems that you're being handed a hardship, or maybe it's the next hardship. When life wants to hand you lemons, when all you want is to be able to coast along for a while, or just have a good and easy life. And I know it may be very hard to hear, but life does hand us all these moments of tests and challenges for a purpose. Sometimes it is chance, but I have to say that most of the time, probably 99.8% of the time, it's for a greater purpose. Let's say that you've been diagnosed, or you have to continue dealing with a condition for years, or the business that you love loses its lease and has to move, or out of nowhere you lose your job. Maybe you lost it because of the pandemic, and now you have to have a restart. The moment when all your hopes and dreams are dashed, when the relationship that you're in has stopped, or someone has left you, or perhaps you've just realized that who you're with is not the one, and you have to start again. It is so important to keep in mind that these events, these experiences, do not happen in order to punish you or because of bad luck. So often, I hear conversations where people think it happens just to them, or they can't get a break, and others have it better. That someone's getting something that they're not getting. And that just isn't true. We are given the answers to life all the time. When you hear things like laughter is the best medicine, everything happens for a reason, these are truths. When you hear that attitude matters, it's a truth. When you hear that the positive always overcomes the negative, that good always overcomes evil, that's the truth. It's the truth. So why do good people suffer? Why do bad things happen to children sometimes? Why do we need St. Jude's Hospital to help our young. Well, I'll tell you, it comes down to something so simple, yet no way I would tell you makes it easier. And that is that we have chosen to live this physical life because we will be tested, because we will go through trials. And through those tests and those trials and those challenges and those hardships at times, we grow, we become stronger, we attain mastery, we raise the vibration of our energy. Our soul expands. And by the expansion of ourselves, we expand this universe. We expand this solar system. Everything that is happening that is magical comes from someone's imagination that yearned for more. Overnight, a rocket landed in the evening, in the dark. And the ability for that rocket to take off and to land came from the imagination of a man and a team that yearned for more. Someone perhaps that had experiences in their childhood that they wanted to fill in and make better. So they allowed themselves to dream. They allowed themselves to believe in themselves. Perhaps they wanted, as a doctor, for another child not to suffer like someone they knew did. So cures are invented. Perhaps a support group is formed because someone in the past did not have support. Everything that is wonderful for us comes from a desire for it. Excuse me. And that desire is born through experience, through pain sometimes, through yearning. How many of you give to charity today? Not just because you are good people, but because you understand what it's like to be hungry, to feel a need. How many of you start your Sunday going to church in some way, whether it be virtually or in person, because you remember how good it felt, how supported you felt in the past when you've gone. Maybe they were there for you when you needed it. Now some go because of other reasons. But the best reason to go, to have the support, to have the practice of a spiritual connection to those in heaven, is really out of support and love, and not because of fear. I hope you don't go because of fear. You'll find out it wasn't necessary. I speak from a place of truth about that. Think about your life. And through those times when, yes, you've been very tested, you've had to go through things that weren't fair. Maybe you're still going through those things that aren't fair. And you get tired. And you don't understand why. Try to step back on a good day. On a good day, try to step back and look at your life in retrospect. And those moments you may have had that you made sure to fill in because of what you had experienced. Do you make sure to take a trip because of what you've been through? Do you make sure not to relive a cycle because you want to get that lesson? You learned it and you never want to go through that again. So excuse me. I have my morning voice again today. The coffee has not woken up my throat enough yet. I apologize. I was thinking this morning, I've been feeling this week that I'm actually reliving a cycle from about 11 years ago. My body is giving me the same discomfort. I'm talking about the same things. Oh my gosh. Intrepid listeners, I'm even hearing the same songs wherever I go that I heard 11 years ago. Oh my goodness. It's very emotional for me. So I thought about this morning about why. Why? Because these last 10 years have been great, wonderful. I've made a whole new bubble of great people, friends. I'm very blessed. People that largely were not there 11 years ago. One was, I am grateful to say, I have a group of forever friends that have formed. I have been to Bora Bora. I have been to Hollywood, California. I have been to San Francisco. I have ziplined. I celebrated a huge birthday in Disney World. I have done amazing things. Those things were off the top of my head. So why do I have to repeat a cycle? Because something I was to learn 11 years ago, I didn't learn yet. That's the only reason we repeat cycles, is because we're still learning the lesson or the lessons. So why do we have to learn lessons? Because when you learn the lessons, your life becomes greater, more rewarding. You're stronger, you're more powerful. You get over the mountains like they're molehills. Life becomes easier. You become a teacher to others. You earn more keys to not only loving earth life, but the keys to heaven more. you gain your whole purpose for being here, which was to learn what you couldn't, to achieve what you didn't before. And it does make things better, I promise you. So I have the project of figuring out what I didn't get done and then doing it. What do I have to add to my catalog? What do I have to add to my growth, to my experiences? What do I still have to deal with that I've been averting or blocking? What is heaven not letting me get away with? I have a clue, perhaps. Believe it or not, and it is sometimes hard to believe, there is an energy. This energy is amazing. There is what I call consciousness around us. It's energy. We're made of energy in a physical body, and we are connected to energy all around us. That's why what you feel and think is responded to. Some call it karma. But karma has different meanings. But you can know it is as that, it's fine. It simply means that what you put out in your feelings and your thoughts and your beliefs gets responded to and gets returned to you. What you put out, you get back. There's a reaction to everything. There are consequences for everything. If you are always thinking about a certain vehicle, you'll see that vehicle everywhere. Because you're thinking about it all the time. If you're always thinking about how much you hate your job, you will get reasons constantly to hate your job. If you believe that you can't have a good loving relationship, a good fulfilling romantic relationship, you will not have it. I get very nervous when my clients say, when they talk about their beliefs, and if their beliefs are closed, because they get what they believe. And I know their heart, a lot of the time, really wants what they say they don't want to have. I know their heart wants it. But what they're saying they're going to get. So they're literally blocking themselves from their own happiness by saying, I don't believe I can have that. If you believe you have to work hard for the money, that's what you'll get. But if you believe, I don't have to work hard for the money, I'm just going to do what I love, oh, you'll thrive. You will thrive. What you look at gets returned to you. That's why people say to you, and that's straight from source, from heaven, from universe, when you hear, be careful what you wish for, that's what that means. If you constantly say and think the same thing in a cycle over and over and over again, it will be returned to you in experience, in people, in reality. But what I'm talking about today with my cycle is that as we work on our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs and make them more positive and try to open to attaining what we would really like to have, we will start to get it. Our lives will improve. But sometimes we avoid the big stuff, the harder stuff, don't we? Perhaps we can play more of a part in our own health than we are, or our relationships more so than we are. Perhaps we are asked to have more courage, and maybe we've had courage. Maybe you have made wonderful leaps, but you know that there are larger leaps that you could do, but you're saying, I'd like to try and get away with not doing that. We're often called out. And we're tested until we're willing to do it. And you know what? The minute you're willing to largely leap, to take the large leap, to do that which is terrifying for you, the minute you're given help, and you probably won't have to at least do it all, you're saved a bit. I don't know if that's fair, but it's true, because heaven helps those who help themselves. So if you're willing to say, all right, I'll do it, heaven says, okay, I'm going to help you with that and make it feel like a cruise. Yep. Doesn't mean it still won't be scary, and that it still won't require courage. So why does a child get cancer? Why does a child go through what they go through? Why does a child suffer and pass young? I have to say, I understand it, but I still want to have a good long talk with heaven when I get there about it. Can't we learn things a different way? Life experiences always expand through pain. And our children will play a part in that. They know that through their experiences, the earth will become better. Or at least it will be given the opportunity to. We would not have the missing persons agencies and those agencies that help children. We would not have St. Jude's Hospital if not because there wasn't a need. It gives us the opportunity to be better. It gives us the opportunity to be our highest selves. It gave Danny Thomas, the actor, the performer, the opportunity to do something global, to do something that was his greatest legacy, to make a huge difference, to be everlasting. And he did it just from the heart, from desire, not because he wanted to be famous or for that, or some are like that, I imagine. They want their names on things for ego, but they're still making a difference, which they will get the opportunity to see. And so we become a greater version of ourselves. So why do we have to be a greater version of ourselves? Because of the joy, because it gets greater for us. Life becomes more special. There's nothing like helping another. There is nothing like the joy of giving and watching it in someone's eyes, in a parent that is grateful for the help their child is receiving. For the joy of seeing someone's stomach being filled with food or a home over their head. It's nothing like it. It's greater than whatever you could experience receiving. It's just greater. And it brings a joy that cannot be matched. So in order for it to be that way, I guess unfortunately, experiences have to happen in order for it to be needed. And so, your fellow humans are living their lives in order for you to be able to experience joy. And you may be one of those humans who are living a life experience in order to be the reason someone feels joy. Imagine that. So it's so very important that when someone wants to give to you, that you receive. Because you're taking their joy if you don't. If you're going through a diagnosis, many people who go through diagnosis don't deserve them. They haven't done anything to get them. I'm not saying all deserve. But there are so many people that get diagnosed with diseases that have no life habits, or that are wonderful people that just have this thing happen to them. Why? And if you're one of them, why? Because remember, there are things in your life that you have experienced that you wouldn't have otherwise. But back to the receiving. If you are going through this and someone wants to hold a benefit for you or drop surprises at your door, receive. If there are benefits for you, meaning help, assistance, take it. If you qualify for Make-A-Wish Foundation, do it. Because through those moments, someone else not only experiences joy, but becomes a greater version of themselves. You literally help humanity expand, humanity grow, and humanity survive. You are part of the yearning for a cure. You are part of the yearning for better. We have the cure for so many things. It's just a matter of waiting it out. There are some of you, or I would say some of humanity, that won't get the COVID vaccine because it happened too fast. when the truth is it didn't happen too fast. All the blocks that are in the way of cures got taken out of it. The red tape, the blue tape, the paperwork, it all got put aside. Whereas there are vaccines for other things, there is treatment for other things that are being held up. Held up by impediments, whether it be the paperwork, someone's convictions, money. In this case, none of that was an impediment, because the leaders said, "We will not let it be so this time." Well, let's all pray that time is coming for everything, and I think it is, where we come to our senses and say, why are we allowing these impediments? Get it out. Let it help someone. It's coming. Hang in there. But that's all that's going on. And yes, sure, sometimes, rarely, someone will get a blood clot or have some side effects, but for the most part, it's helping. It's allowing us to take care of ourselves, and that is important. Always be informed and try not to live in fear. There was a purpose to the pandemic, as I've said before in my podcast. It was to be a time when we stop and look at what are we doing? Are we working just for the money? Or should we change to do our life purpose? Have we been meaning to spend time with our families and haven't been doing it? Some of us have lost employment. It's a challenge. It's hard. But if you hang in there and take on the challenge, and you also help your fellow man with their challenge, all will come out of it greater. That's what it's about. The universe is always trying to line things up for us. When we live by our highest selves, meaning if you do something loving for another, the universe will do something loving for you. You shouldn't, though, do it constantly, because you do. In other words, if you say, I'm going to sacrifice my Sunday for my spouse who wants to do something they love, you will be rewarded. But you should never live a life of complete sacrifice. You should accept the reward when it comes. Okay? You shouldn't say no to it. If you get the opportunity to be rewarded, say yes. But the universe rewards those who think of another, who think of mankind. It may be 11th hour sometimes, it feels, but it will happen. So do keep that in mind. But back to our topic today. There is generally a purpose to everything that you go through. And you might want to put your hand through my microphone when I say this. But I do feel that those that are tested the most will most often get the greatest rewards, and perhaps are receiving the greatest love in the end. And yes, it won't feel it when you're going through it, when you're sitting there at a chemo machine, when you're suffering all the side effects, when you're worried about losing your home, when you've suffered any degree of great loss. It will not feel it. And there are losses that can never be fully filled in. But I can tell you most honestly that if you can look back in this life, or I know when you get to heaven you'll be able to, you will look back and see what happened because of it, what you were able to do because of it, how you touched others because of it. And you will experience that reward. You will. You'll say, "Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. All right." And if you can make your journey on earth a partnership with the energy around you, if you can focus on watching what you say and your beliefs and your thoughts and your feelings and making them all powerful and good, practice gratitude. Say affirming statements. I am going on that trip. I am in a home I love. I am all right. I am lovable. I do matter. Believe, feel, think, say. And you can also live a life where you're generous to others, no matter what. It will come back around to you. If you can learn from what you're going through, allow it. If you can learn to receive, it will be worth it. Today, I was looking at new pictures for a new vision board I'm going to do for myself. A vision board or a mood board helps you to experience, to feel, to think, to create your future, which you have the ability to do with your free will. That's why it was given. And I printed out something I'm going to acquire, and I printed out a picture of a place. And by focusing on those two things, they are coming into my future. They are coming into my life. What you focus on comes into you. Make your vision or mood boards. Practice gratitude. Talk like you have it. Your energy will join with the greater energy around you and bring you all the helpers, experiences, hows, ways that you will need to have it. You don't even have to worry about the hows. Just start from within and work on the outside of actions, and it will come. Isn't that amazing? And the purpose of the hardships, the diagnosis, is that you make sure to kick up your creativity up a notch. That's all. You decided before you came here that you wanted to do it all a little bit more than others. You wanted to have to be pushed a little. I always say you wanted to do it on steroids. And you can. You are made in the image and likeness of your Creator. And you can get through, accomplish anything you set your mind and will to. Please keep that in mind. Please know that. Thank you so much for joining me. Today in my world, it is a beautiful and warm day. I'm going to make sure to get out and enjoy it. I hope you enjoy your day. It's a new day and a new week. It's a start over day. Make it the best one yet. Thank you so much. Be sure again to like, subscribe, and share. And be sure to check out my website, lisahop.com. Click the link at the bottom. I think it's at the top now. Actually, I changed it. Click the link to join up my newsletter, to get all my newest updates. Feel free to email me at serendityharbor@verizon.net for information or any questions you have. And have a wonderful day. Many blessings.